What is happening, automotive fanatics? It's Peter, your automotive fanatic, coming at you guys with another DIY. Today I'm actually going to go back to my YouTube roots where I started working on Audis, and I am going to go ahead and do a full coil pack as well as spark plug change on an Audi B9 SQ5. Today's video may be transferable to other B9 vehicles, but you need to make sure that it's going to be on the 3-liter V6 single turbo motor. At least I know that's what we're working on today. Again, it may apply on a couple of other B9 vehicles, but just make sure that you verify before you go ahead and get started. What I would like to accomplish today is that we're going to do a spark plug change as well as a coil pack change, because my particular SQ5 is stage 2 tuned and it also has a TCU tune. In my past experience working with Audis that are tuned, you do want to essentially upgrade your ignition setup. A great place to start is going to be your spark plugs. Mine currently is completely stock. So what we're going to install, we're going to run these Brisk racing plugs. Now these plugs here, they're going to be 2 steps colder than OEM. The reason why you typically want to go with a colder plug is you have better control of your internal cylinder head temperature. It also helps with detonation and such, but running a 2-step colder plugs is going to help with that. I am also going to run the APR, I call it an OEM Plus coil pack. These are not the super high performance ones. They're literally $20 to $30 more per, but I didn't want to go that route. I just wanted to go more of the APR OEM Plus setup that's supposed to give 10% more spark power to your plug. So this should suffice. One of the important things with your spark plugs is you need to make sure they are properly gapped. Now with these ones here, it's recommended to be between it's 0.23 to 0.25 inches, and I believe that works out to be about 0.6 millimeters. But I will go ahead and post a link below here so that you guys can properly re-gap these spark plugs before you put them in. Now with the Brisk, later on I will confirm while I'm installing them, but with the Brisk plugs, they're not the standard 22 foot-pounds of torque that you typically use on a stock plug. You want to use with the Brisk, they specify specifically it is 17 Newton meters or 12 and a half foot-pounds of torque, then a 45-degree turn. I believe that's going to be it right there. But I'll verify with the Brisk site and make sure that you guys are aware of what you need to do. You also do not want to put any type of anti-seize on those plugs. Audi specifies no anti-seize, so do not use those. You can use some dielectric grease on the internals or the inside of the coil packs. With the APR, hopefully you guys can see, you can kind of see a green ring around the inside. That's actually dielectric grease that APR marks on here. So you will go ahead and put that on the inside if you don't have it. So changing the plugs on the SQ5, I have done a little research on. It's not going to be quite as straightforward as we would like it to be. you've got some wiring, you've got some looms, you've got a couple of different wiring panels that you have to remove on the passenger side, and then on the driver's side it's a little more complicated to do, but again, very DIY-able. Just use my video as a reference and you should be able to successfully accomplish this job. So without further ado, my automotive fanatic family, we're gonna jump right in to this SQ5 and change out the plugs and coil packs. You're looking at the passenger side part of the engine, and up to this point what I did was, the first thing, there is a shield that goes right over here. I went ahead and removed the hood latch, which is pretty simple. You push a little button and then this mechanism, the little latch will pull out, and then from there I went ahead and removed the shield that goes there. I went ahead and loosened the clamp that goes here and here to remove the little inlet, and that gives me a lot of room to work with the coil packs and plugs. There you've got one, you've got two, and then there's your third one. The trouble is going to be this particular part right here. From my research, it's actually held in by a couple of grommets. So you're gonna pull here and here to actually get it up. That will allow you to have some access to the coil pack that's directly underneath. Now the way to get this loose, you've got that little red cap. You're gonna put a little screwdriver, you're gonna pop it out, and then you can actually push in and pull this electronic connection out. The same thing here and the same thing here. I'm going to do the very first plug so that you guys can see how to remove that. Again, that little red clip, you push it out, push it down, allows you to remove this electronic connector here, just like such. I did that beforehand. You have a T30 bolt that holds the coil pack on. You'll remove it, just like such, and from there you're able to grab the coil packs and pull it out, which will expose the internal spark plug. With a thin wall 14mm socket wrench, I went ahead and used a couple of extensions to get down there, slowly hand untorquing the spark plug. I can feel it coming out, and there is your spark plug right there. Here's just a quick comparison. You're looking at the NGK that was in there before. Here is the Brisk. Kind of doing a quick comparison, you can probably see that the NGK, it is a very large gap compared to the Brisk. And I'm going to try my best to show you this, but when they're talking about colder temperatures, if you look carefully, you'll see that the electrode on the Brisk actually sits a little lower in the spark plug. So that one's going to be 2 steps colder. This one is normal. Overall, it looks really good here. I put the new Brisk plug in, and you can see I've set my torque wrench to 12.5 foot-pounds of torque. We'll go ahead and torque that down. You'll see that I went ahead and installed the APR coil pack. Here's the bolt. If you really want to go OCD, you can go ahead and torque that down to 7 foot-pounds. Again, 7 foot-pounds, and go ahead and just connect this back into your connector. To get this off, you do want to go ahead and pull a fair amount. There's one ball here, and there's one ball right down there. So just pull this out. It will expose the coil pack that's underneath and give you a little more room to also work on that coil pack right there. The middle coil pack on the passenger side is definitely going to give you trouble. This one's actually turned a little bit to get it out, but with this harness you do have to push down. I would recommend that you remove all of those plastic connectors to the spark plugs, as it will give you a little more room. Again, remove the connectors to the coil packs. And what I did here, I used a little 90-degree pick where I was able to get underneath this coil pack and pull it out with one hand, while my other hand was actually trying to grab this part or this part to pull it out. But you can get it out. Once it starts to come loose, you're going to have to push this back, turn this essentially 45 or 90 degrees the other way to pull it out, but it is able to get out. Accessing the third coil pack, and spark plug was a piece of cake, very well exposed. I went ahead and did that. You can see that I've got the middle one done, front one done. We'll go ahead and knock this one out, put everything together, and we'll be done with the passenger side. Alright, I was able to get everything neatly bolted back on, torqued down properly. I got all my JB4 connections on here, and now all I'm going to do is just going to go reverse order. I'll put that pipe back in and essentially put all of the covers back on. Now we're looking at the driver's side, and right off the bat I will tell you guys, this is going to be a pain in the butt. You can barely see the coil pack plugs. If you take a look, there's one right there, there's one right there, and way back there, there's actually one back there. So you're going to have to remove a few things. From the research that I've seen, people have disconnected this here, right up here, and what they do is they swing this around to give you some room. Kind of like the other side, this connector here is going to be held in by some grommets, so you're going to just pull off. Hopefully that's going to give you some room to work inside there. Now the last one, I'm going to have to figure out how to essentially get to it, because it is pretty embedded in there. But let's go ahead and kind of have a little fun with this here. I'll share with you guys some basic tips on what I find. After watching a couple of different videos, FCP Euro gave me some really good idea, and I definitely want to give them a shout out to removing this here. There is a secret. Obviously you have a grommet that you want to pull that will unleash it or release it, and here you'll see there's a little metal tab that it slides in. The catch is, if you can take a look where my finger is, right down here, that's actually a tab. If you push it, it will unlock the other side and allow you to pull this whole mechanism up. So look at this, guys. See how much I'm able to pull it up? The other thing that I would recommend that you remove, that's going to be your cam positioning sensor, I believe, right there. You remove it, and there's going to be a little connection right here that just goes right here. Go ahead and pull it off as well. And now you should have a little more room to pull this whole harness out so that you can get to the plugs. I was able to get the bolts that hold the coil packs in, and the way you do it is this here, it really has to be able to move back and forth so that you can get it on this angle and then that angle. Now if you take a look, this coil pack connector down here, that's going to be really tricky. The way that I got it is I used a flathead to unlatch it, and then I had to use this little pick to put it inside the connector and push it out. That way I was able to get it out because there's just such little room. So we're able to get all those bolts out. Now I'm going to start pulling the coil packs out. The first coil pack is in on the driver's side, and I will tell you, this is probably the easiest one out of the three. That's the one that's closest to the back. Then you've got this one, and then you've got this one here. So I went ahead and put it in, and I'll slowly make my way to the front. Here's how I got the last coil pack out. I had to really pull this up. I rotated this essentially about 90 to 100 degrees to the right, so counterclockwise, to get this out of here and then to pull it straight up. So it was definitely some work to get it out, but doable. Alright, I was able to get that final coil pack and plug in, buttoned everything up, went ahead and connected that and its connector, made sure that nothing was crimped, put back the pipings, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap everything up, put the cover back on, and I'm going to fire up the car, make sure everything runs nice and smooth. I am happy to tell you guys the project of the coil pack and spark plug change on the B9 SQ5 is completely done. Beforehand, I knew it was going to be a tough job, but once you dive in, you don't really anticipate some of the challenges that come up. But again, very happy it is complete. I do hope some of those pro tips that I shared with you will help make the removal and the installation of either items easier for you guys to tackle on. I do want to go ahead and send a huge thanks to FCP Euro as well as Foreignworks, as I did use their videos to help me kind of along the process. And in all honesty, I think without those videos, there's no way I would have been able to complete it as quickly as I did. If you did find my video helpful, give me a 2 thumbs up. It does change how YouTube views the algorithms with this video. It kind of pushes it up a little toward the top. And if you guys have not already, please consider subscribing to the channel, as it motivates me to kind of go back to my roots of working with the Audi sector, as now I do have a daily SQ5 B9 to drive around, and hopefully I will continue to make more content on the SQ5 for you guys to view. Until the very next time, my automotive fanatic family, thank you for stopping by. I look forward to seeing you in the very next The Automotive Fanatic video.